Hello and welcome back to my channel, CAD with Jordan. Today we're going to be doing this part right here. It's a little bit of a pipe with these flanges on the end, and then we're also going to be using the rib tool as well as the circular pattern. So a couple new things to cover here for you. Much like in my other practice part videos, what you want to do right now is screenshot this and have it open on your other screen or something, or alternatively you could just follow along with me. Speaking of following along with me, I do have my course that is 100% free at the moment, and the link is in the description. Throughout that course you build your own workshop vice, and then at the end of it we follow through and we make a 4-cylinder engine. So yeah, check that out, completely free, only till the 17th. Anyway, let's jump into this. So to begin with, what I'm going to do is start up a brand new part as always, and then I'm going to start a 2D sketch, and rather than picking the plane that I just did, I'm just going to delete that real quick. I'm going to pick the plane that is on the floor or horizontal, and that way I can begin building my pipe. So my sketch is going to be on this face here, and then I'm going to show which way it needs to go with a different sketch, and I'm sure that'll make a little bit more sense in a moment. So it's going to be a pipe that is 90 on the inner diameter and 100 on the outer, and that is that sketch. And now, like I mentioned before, we're going to follow the path. So we're going to be using the sweep tool, but as you can see here, it needs a separate sketch for it to follow. So as you can see on the drawing right here, we have a 250 by 250 pipe, and rather than drawing in a curve or anything, what I'm going to do simply is just draw up by 250, and then I'm going to draw to the right or the left, whichever way you feel, 250. So now that I have that right angle in place, I'm going to take another look at my drawing and see that it is a R100 fillet. So I'm going to get the fillet tool, do a 100mm radius, and boom, that is all we need to create our pipe. And what we'll do is select our sweep tool, select our profile, ensuring that we only select the ring on the outside, and then we're going to move over to our path and we're going to select our second sketch and press OK, and now we have the majority of the part made already. Anyway, the next part that we're going to touch on is this base plate here, and as you can see, it is a 150 by 150 with R20 corners or fillets on the corner. So I'm just going to begin my sketch on this face here, and then I'm going to draw in a rectangle at 150, and then I'm going to press tab, and this lets me cycle between the two fields, and then I'm going to press 150 again. Then what I'll do is I'll apply my 20mm radiuses on the side, and just like that I'm just going to click between all of the lines, and that will automatically create that. And lastly, just so I know that this is centralized, because I can see right now that it isn't, what I'll use is this vertical constraint. I'll take the very center of this line here, and you'll see that this green node will appear, and then I'm going to select our datum point right here, and now you can see that these two lines on the left and right have become black, showing that it is fully defined. And then I'm just going to do the same thing again with the horizontal constraint up here, and rinse and repeat. So now that that's done, let's take another look at our base plane. You can see that we have 4 holes in here. These holes are set in 20 by 20, and they are 10mm radius, or 10mm diameter. Now, because this is a R20 fillet, the center point is actually already shown, and this is where we're going to be putting in our holes. So I'll simply just create a circle at a 10mm diameter, and then I'm going to select the copy tool and highlight this. And you can see that I've actually highlighted this node here as well, so I'll hold shift and then unhighlight that, or sorry, click it again to unselect it. Now once I've selected just my hole, I'm going to press right click and continue, select my base point, which will be the center of my hole, and I'm just going to click on the other 4 dots that we have right here, and that is the majority of it. But before we extrude it, what we're going to do is use the project geometry, and we're going to project this inner circle here. And now that when we press E to extrude, we can select everything but that inner circle, and we're going to extrude this by... So we're going to extrude that by 10mm, and you'll see that it doesn't actually select this middle circle here, meaning that our pipe is still hollow, or at least accessible, because it would be hollow. It just means that this plate would be in the way of the exit for it. So that is one side of it, and rather than doing it all over again on this side, what I'm going to do is just open up this sketch, do a big highlight, and press Ctrl C to copy the sketch. Then I'm going to start another sketch on the other side of the pipe and press Ctrl V, and right here it's actually lined up quite nicely for us. So now that that's there, just extrude it and do 10mm once again, and boom, nice and quick, we didn't have to go through all that again. Anyway, last but not least, what we're going to be doing here is this rib effect here, and you can see that we have 6 ribs evenly spaced, as you can see in our isometric view right here. So the way that we're going to do this is take a look at the rib itself. We can see that it is 60 degrees and starts at the end of our base plate there. So to begin doing that, we're going to open up our origin planes, and I'm going to make this XY plane visible, and then I'll make it visible while right clicking and pressing V. Then I'll start my sketch on that plane. Once I've done that, what I'll do is pull out my line tool, go to the very end like it showed in the drawing, and then I'm going to press tab once again to cycle between our fields and change it to 60 degrees. Now what I would do is just draw a little bit, make sure it doesn't connect with it, because the rib tool actually has a special feature and it doesn't actually need to connect between things. Autodesk Inventor will just calculate it for you. So now that we have our sketch here, what we're going to do is select our rib tool, and then we're going to change the mode of our rib tool to this parallel sketch plane. Then once we've selected that, we'll select our geometry right here, and you can see already it's created the rib for us. On your screen that it isn't doing this, you need to enable or disable this right here, but we want to make this 10 mil thick, as you can see on the drawing right there. 10 mil. So I'll make my way back to the part and press OK, and there we go, we have ourselves a little rib. So before I get rid of that origin plane, I'm just going to repeat the same process once again, and I'll just draw in a line, and this time I'm just going to use the D hotkey to get the dimension tool out, and then I'll create a dimension between our 2 relative surfaces. And just to be sure, I'm going to trim that so it doesn't match up with our pipe, and then once again rinse and repeat, just the same process once again. Brilliant. There we are. So now I can get rid of that plane because I no longer need to do any more sketches on it. But as you can see in our drawing and on our pipe model we've already made, there's 6 evenly spaced ribs, and the way that I'm going to do this is by using the circular pattern driven tool. The way this works is you select your feature first, then you can move on over to your rotational axes, and we'll select this circular face right here, and what that will do is it will take the center point of this and then rotate around that evenly. The default amount of placement parts is 6, so that's everything we need already. Perfect. There we go. And then we're just going to do the same thing again on the opposite side. Nice and easy. So that is our practice part all done. Hopefully you learned something here, and if you're a fan of learning, check out the course. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.